What's up, guys? It's Mark with Limo Marketer, back with another video for you all. Today I want to talk about some basic sales tools you can be using in your limo business in order to close more sales. So right now, whether you're spending $100 a month on marketing and advertising, or $5,000 a month, or $10,000 a month, that money will be much more efficiently spent if you are doing everything you can do to close those leads you're getting. And so if you're getting phone calls, the follow-up's going to be, and your process is going to be different than forms. Now, many of you are going to get both. So you might have a website with a lead form on it. You might have landing pages with lead forms. No matter what it is, there's some simple things you can use to get much better results. And these are all completely free to use. So I've spoken with lots of operators who think that you need to have some fancy CRM like HubSpot, Salesforce, ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, all of these different softwares that take a long time to learn, and they can be pretty complex, especially when you get into the automations. You don't need to use any of that. What I actually have a lot of the companies I work with that are smaller operators, what I have them use is a Google Sheet. So if you don't know what Google Sheets is, just Google it. Google Sheets is just like Microsoft Excel, except it's an online browser-based version of it, which means you can download the app on your phone, whether you have an iPhone or Android, and the sheet, that any modifications you make, wherever you are, whether you're on your phone or your computer, you're going to see those appear in the Google Sheet, which is great. And also you can have multiple people working on the sheets at one time. So highly suggest that you start using Google Sheets to keep track of the leads you're getting. Here's what I recommend keeping track of. So you want to keep track of every job you quote, make a new row on the sheet. You want to note, hours, guests, pickup, destination, all of those things. But what you also want to keep track of, and this will be a game changer for you, because I know I always talk about following up quickly, and I get it. You can do it for a few days, but making it a habit becomes difficult. So the quickest way I've found to make this a habit is you want to know when you're getting, what time you got the lead. Now, just a side note, it is more labor intensive if you're not using something like Zapier. So Zapier allows you to essentially just put all of this data directly into a Google Sheet as soon as you get the lead. Now, I highly recommend using this. It saves a lot of time. That way you don't have to copy everything from an email and paste it into the Google Sheet, because that can take a lot of time. And if you guys like, I can show in the next video. Just leave a comment below if you'd like me to show you how to do this. But it's very simple. Zapier, I believe they have very inexpensive plans, and it's going to save you a ton of time. I think their smallest plan's under $50 a month. It might be $25 a month. They might even have a free one, I'm not sure. But if you're using Zapier, it's going to put all of this data in the sheet for you. But if not, that's okay. But what I want you to keep track of, really even more important many times than where they're going, the number of hours, is what time did that lead come in, right? So the moment you get that email, you want to note the time that came in. And then you want to remember, as soon as you call them, which you should be doing, or text them, or email them, which is really the last thing you should be doing, but I guess it's better than not contacting them at all. What you want to do is you want to note what time you made that contact. And the great thing is with smartphones, even if you forget to write the time down, you can go back and look at the time you sent the text, at the time you made the call or sent the email. So why is this important? I'm sure you've all heard the phrase, what gets measured gets improved. And there's nothing more true. So if you really want to be disciplined about following up, make it a habit to start writing down, even if it takes you 2 hours, that's fine. Just as long as you make a note on that sheet how long it took you to follow up with that client. Now, over time, after you quote 20, 30, 40, 50 different clients or prospects, what you're going to see is that you start closing more with a higher rate with quicker response times. So on the sheet, when someone closes, you obviously want to mark it 1. And then what you want to do is, after you've quoted 50 or 100, you want to look on the sheet and sort by the 1 column and just look at the average time it took you to follow up. And what you are going to find is the quicker you follow up, the higher the chance you have of closing that business. And again, unfortunately, what happens is it's like any new thing you're trying to do. You have to make it a habit, because if you don't make it a habit, eventually you're going to start slacking off. You won't be doing it. And you might be thinking right now, Mark, that's great for you to say. I don't have time to do all that. I do not have time to keep track of all of this. And so, again, number 1, buy time. Use Zapier. That buys you time right there. And then what I would also say is, at the end of the day, the most important thing in your business is new sales. You're not going to grow your business without new sales. I see all the time in Facebook groups, operators asking about the newest marketing strategy, whether it's chatbots or whether it's funnels and landing pages and all of this different stuff. And I'm not saying some of those things can't help, but typically what they're trying to do is, it's like trying to lose weight and you eat cake every day and you think that getting these fancy new running shoes are going to help you lose weight. I think we all know that those running shoes aren't going to do really anything. Now, if they help motivate you to run, then that can be a good thing. But probably the best thing would be to eat a little less cake every day. And so that's the same thing when it comes to following up with quote requests. It can be difficult in the beginning to see how much this actually matters. But after building hundreds of campaigns and seeing dozens of clients have success and dozens of clients not have the success as the top companies that I've seen have a ton of success, there's patterns. And one of the patterns I see for the companies that struggle is it just takes them a long time to follow up on their quote requests, and they typically aren't texting or calling. They're typically just sending emails. So if you want to get more leads, or I should say close more leads, go ahead, get a Google Sheets account. Like I said, it's completely free. And then if you're currently working with an agency or you're doing marketing yourself, really look into Zapier. Because Zapier, whether you have a WordPress website or landing pages with ClickFunnels, unbalanced lead pages, Zapier can allow you to quickly put the data from those platforms into the Google Sheet. And you can have the time that the quote was requested, and then all of the other data fields in that Google Sheet. So really, really cool stuff. And then finally, one other thing I want to mention about Zapier that a lot of people might not be aware of is it can do text follow-up automations. And I just suggest doing simple ones. So the simplest one I like to use or see used is when a client gets one of their forms filled out on their site, I set up an SMS message that goes out to that person that a minute or two later, because in Zapier you can do delays. So what happens is someone fills out a form, we do a 1 minute delay, and then we send a text message to the number they put on the form that says, Hey John, this is Mark from Mark's Limos. I just got your quote request. I had a few other questions that I need to get answered in order to provide you with an exact quote. Do you have a moment to speak now? And so then I recommend following up with a call because they're either going to text you back or they're not going to text you at all. Either way, if they text you back saying no, that's fine. You can just start texting with them. But many times they won't even text back, but it's just letting you know, hey, I'll be calling. And you can even include the phone number you're going to be calling from. That's another thing that can really help out. Because you might figure, well, they've been filling out forms asking for quotes, that they must know it's someone calling. But many times when people see, prospects see a phone number in their phone, I know whenever I see a number I don't know, I don't answer it because it could be, you know, someone, a telemarketer or whatever. So letting them know what number you'll be calling from is very, very helpful. And then what it also does is, you know, that text message was sent saying that you'd be calling right away. So it kind of in a way forces you to make that call, because if you don't, that's going to look bad. You say you're going to do something and not do it. So if you're trying to not spend any money, that's fine. Honestly, the most important thing I've said in all this is this thing. Start keeping track of every single quote you do. Keep track of, you know, their info. Keep track of what you quoted them. And the more you keep track of, and then the time you responded, the more you keep track of, the more sales you will get. That is a guarantee from me. If you just start tracking this stuff, you will start improving. And that is with no sales training. That's without doing anything else, but just the act of writing it down, entering it into Google Sheets is going to help you improve. And I guarantee that. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know, how do you guys track? Are you tracking? Are you using a CRM? Are you using Google Sheets? You could even use Microsoft Excel, as long as you're using something. So let me know, what are you using to track your sales? And was there ever a time that you weren't doing that? And what sort of difference did you see? So anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Share it with your friends if you think it could help them out. And I will see you all in the next video.